Hi freaks, it's me, it's Freaking Gear, and I'm coming back at you with another video. The other day I was digging around my closet, I'll call it the vault, and I found some interesting old artifacts, I will say. While I was digging around, I found some magazines, and the magazines dated back from 1995. So this piece is going to be kind of a nostalgia piece. I need to take you back to 1995 just to show you what kind of life there was back then for someone who was into fetish, into rubber specifically. So I hope you enjoy this. It's a quick little piece. It's not going to take long. And I will see you on the other side of this video.
The year was 1995 and I was living on my first apartment on my own. I had a fantastic used sports car, a 1987 Toyota Supra Turbo. Being a freak in 1995 was very limiting, as almost all your interactions were done in the city that you lived in. And the internet wasn't quite out yet, and being online meant that you had to use a modem on your computer and your landline telephone to dial out to get into another computer. AOL was a dial-in system, and AOL was more of a family-friendly entity, but there were some few CD places that you can get into. My cell phone at the time was a Motorola Microtech, and as you can see, there are no cameras on this phone and there's no touchscreens. It did one thing. It allowed you to dial another phone. That was it. No texting back then. Many people at the time didn't even own computers, much less cell phones. Digital cameras were expensive, and technology for sharp pictures was not quite out yet. It'd be another probably 5 years before those came into fruition. So, for example, if you wanted a picture taken, you had to take a picture and scan it. This is me in a scanned picture. And to do this, you had to get a regular camera, go and have it developed, the film, and go pick up the film, which could be very embarrassing. I would wait at least a day or two before I'd pick up my pictures because I didn't want people to recognize me. So I was a very sad looking freak, as you can tell by this picture. Not a lot of interaction with other people. It just wasn't happening back in 1995. There was only a few ways to interact, and like I said, AOL was one of them. But yeah, I would definitely get dressed, and I would, hang out at home. The only other place around town would be like leather bars. And leather bars, the leather community wasn't very open to latex at the time. I would get smirks, and just people would walk by and just wouldn't know what to do with me. So it'd be 3 hours of me standing there against the wall, just looking like I did. Even wearing neoprene was not an option at that time, although I would try. As you can tell by the picture, neoprene wasn't also taking off as well. So I would have to dabble in leather, which what I did in 1995. I would get into a hood. I loved my hoods. I love, the look of it. I'd even have some fun dressing up and going to the bar just to see if I could get some interaction done in 1995. It was just a very quiet time frame for being into latex. So this picture is me being a very cheesy freak, trying to look cute, and failing. But, I didn't know the camera was going to actually take that picture. But back then also you had this other thing. It was called magazines. In the magazines, most of them, again, latex was not a big thing. It was more leather community, so drummer, in uniform, things like that. So to find a magazine was amazing. Now, here's a picture, a video, actually, of 1995. That's how grainy it was. But I found this magazine called Rubber Rebel. And in Rubber Rebel, it actually catered at that time to the latex community. It wasn't a huge community here in the United States, but it was growing. So inside the magazine, you had articles, you had advertisements, you could purchase things in the magazine. The quality was not so great. It was just starting out in 1995, but at least there was something to purchase if you wanted to. You could even get videos back then. And lo and behold, there are, personals in there. Not many personals. You also had, like I said, the articles where you could see other people in latex, some of the colors that was coming out in latex. And then on the back of the magazine, always tried to, keep your attention to buy the next monthly magazine. These magazines were $8.95, which equates to about $15.36 in 2020 prices. But I was very happy to find these magazines in my closet, and I wanted to show them. So I'm hoping that people get to enjoy it.
Well, I thought you'd find that kind of exciting. Here's the magazines themselves. It's kind of fun to go through. They have ads. I mean, literally, there's only like about 12 personals. And I remember back in 1995 not finding anybody into rubber. Nobody. And to find somebody that was in Colorado, which is 1,000+ miles from here, but at least there was somebody else that was into rubber like I was thrilled to death. A little later in life, you had the internet come out. You had a place called IRC, Internet Relay Chat, where you could find like-minded people. But I was thrilled to death to find those people. So it just shows you how hard it was back just in 1995 to find somebody that was into rubber. Of course, later on, it took off like wildfire. And it's funny to go through these ads and find out that most people are well over 30 years old that was into it, because rubber was expensive. You're talking about just a t-shirt was close to $200, a t-shirt. So if you had like a Viking suit, you're talking $1,200–1,400 on a koala suit. I remember when I bought my first one, it was almost $1,000, and that was back then. So it was expensive to be into, rubber, latex, even neoprene was hard to find. But I thought you'd get a kick out of that, and I hope you enjoyed that. If you liked it, I prefer, I really appreciate if you could just give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate when you guys subscribe. It does a lot for me personally. I want to make this channel, expand. So, definitely like and hit the, subscribe button. If you didn't like it, tell me what you didn't like. Tell me how I can change it. Tell me how I can grow this channel. I'm always looking for suggestions. This is my first, I never taken anything like this on before. So I'm kind of looking forward to comments. Let me know what you think. And until next time, I will see you guys later on.